All right, we are outside the Chargers' brand new $250 million practice facility. Jim Harbaugh's first training camp practice back in the NFL after 9 years away has wrapped, and we have 5 takeaways. Takeaway number 1, it'd almost be doing a disservice to Justin Herbert to say that he came as advertised. He's been better than that. Now, Harbaugh and new GM Joe Ortiz knew about the size, the arm talent, the movement skills, the makeup, but a couple things caught them off guard. Number 1, how fast he's picked everything up. That's forced them to conclude he's either an incredibly quick study, a maniacal worker, or most likely both. And then number 2, it's not just how he moves, it's how he runs and how he's been able to pull away from even the best athletes of the team in the open field, which is interesting when you consider how Harbaugh and his new offensive coordinator, Greg Roman, have used their quarterbacks in the past. Takeaway number 2, the edge spot looks like a very real strength for the Chargers, and it's not just having Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack back on renegotiated deals, although that part is huge. It's also the depth they have there now with second-year Mantuli Tupulatu and veteran pickup Bud Dupree. One of the things Harbaugh was most impressed with when he went back and looked at the 2023 Chargers was their first game against the Raiders and the way the edge players in that game took over. And the 2 edge players in that game were Mack and Tuli. So Joey Bosa wasn't even out there yet, and Bud Dupree, who had a really nice spring here, wasn't even on the team yet. Should give new defensive coordinator Jesse Minter the ability to rotate, keep guys fresh, maybe get all those guys out there on third down together, and create a nice foundation for his first defense in Los Angeles. Takeaway number 3, speaking of that defense, Derwin James' leadership here should not be undersold. In fact, it's become a running joke in the building how Harbaugh wants everybody to do as number 3 would do. And I think a big piece of that is because of how like-minded the 2 guys are and how they approach football and their passion for football. And that much was clear in the first practice out here of the summer. Derwin James barely came off the field. I'm talking he was out there even for the scout team reps. That's going to be really important as Jim Harbaugh tries to build what he built in San Francisco all those years ago. Remember, in San Francisco, he inherited guys like Joe Staley, Navarro Bowman, Patrick Willis, Frank Gore. Having guys like that are passionate about football, that work their ass off is really important. He has one in James, and he's not the only one. Takeaway number 4, Joe Alt has lived up to the billing as the 5th overall pick. He's 6'9", he's 320 pounds. The size is obvious. What's really impressive is the way he moves, the way he bends. He looks like he's going to be entrenched as the right tackle. The plan is to keep Rashawn Slater at left tackle, and if those 2 guys take care of those 2 spots, a lot of other things could fall into place with Bradley Bozeman coming over from Baltimore to play center and Trey Pipkins, who had been a tackle here, moving inside and looking pretty good at guard. And finally, takeaway number 5, there are some questions on the roster, 2 in particular, 1 at receiver, 1 at corner. Now, they have a couple of guys they feel like will be stabilizing forces at those spots. In Asante Samuel at corner, he's been aggressive, instinctive, made a really good impression on his new coaches. And then Joshua Palmer, who's been steady at receiver the last few years. They're going to need some young guys to step up. A couple young guys on offense, a couple young guys on defense to keep an eye on over the next month. On defense at corner, it's the 2 rookies, Cam Hart and Tareeb Still. And then on offense at receiver, it'll be Ladd McConkey, the team's 2nd round pick. And then, of course, the 1st round pick from a year ago, Quentin Johnston.